everybody? This is DJ Thielen, CEO of Fortune Foreclosures and founder of Flipping on Demand. And today on DJ's Dugout, where every week we bring you new guests to inspire you in your life and to have more success in your business as well as your life, I have on a good friend of mine, Ramon Gonzalez, all the way from Miami, Florida. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Blessed, man. I'm excited to be here with you and to share with the audience whatever they want us to share and talk about, and just really make impact and change people's lives.
Hey man, I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go. I know you got a lot of good stuff to share, man. So you and I met, Ramon, back probably like 6 months ago at a mastermind in Malibu, and became friends. And so share with the people, I guess, on here a little about just I guess where you came from, your background. And then, we'll get into sharing with them some things that can help them have some big breakthroughs here.
Sure. Born and raised in Miami, did the whole school, graduated from school, my degrees in economics, went to work for General Electric in Connecticut. I was born and raised in Miami. I had never really left. Then I went up to Connecticut, New York to work. First time I saw snow was like at 20. So I was up there working for General Electric 3 or 4 years. I did their financial management program. Figured out the corporate world wasn't for me. I started buying and holding rentals. And as I scaled that out, I quit the job, or they let me go because they saw I wasn't a fit anymore after the program ended. So we bought some rentals. I ended up getting like 40 or 50 rentals in Connecticut. And I wanted to move back home. All my family was down in Miami. So we sold some of the properties and some we kept, and I moved back down. But in Miami, I couldn't buy and hold anymore. So we started, flipping, wholesaling, and we've been doing that. And then we started buying and holding. Once the market corrected, we started buying and holding again. Sold all those properties and did some fix and flip, and got out of that business as well. And now we do mostly lending. We do some apartment deals here and there, but we're more passive in the apartment space. We're more active in the lending space.
Hey man, so what's that hat stand for? What symbol is that?
That's the Miami Millionaire Mastermind. So my life actively right now is about two pieces. It's about making an impact. So I'm doing a few things to make impact. I'm not chasing revenue anymore. Money doesn't drive me. Not that money isn't important, and it doesn't drive me. Impact drives me, right? So one of the things that we're doing to make impact is I have these masterminds, very similar to the one you and I met at, but more financial driven. That's my unique ability: financial management, risk mitigation, tax planning. Those are the kind of things I do well. Being able to kind of plan out deals. So I have my own masterminds. We had a couple already, one in February and one in May, and we'll do another one soon. I just don't know when. And then my second thing I'm doing to create impact, I'm doing that with my lovely wife, who you just saw a little bit ago. And she, what we're doing is called Both on Board. We just got the website going, and what we're doing is helping entrepreneurial couples in the real estate space specifically learn how to work together, how to grow financially together. Because what happens is you bring these two people together, and now they're going to work together, and it changes the whole dynamic. So we've done multiple 7-figure businesses, fix and flip, buy and hold, and now the lending space together. So we figured out what works and what doesn't, and not that we have everything figured out, and yet there's some things we can definitely share about our experience, unique ability, who's doing what, and then as you add kids to this, DJ, this, everything changes, right? So now what she used to do, she can't do anymore because she has her priorities shift. Now she's into mama bear mode, right? And then now she's got
the X factor. The X factor.
Yeah. So those are the places we're looking to make impact. I'm looking to help entrepreneurs with the Miami Millionaire Mastermind, and we're both together looking to help entrepreneurial couples create impact, live a life of impact, and then also really just how to have it all, not just one area of a life, right? Financial, mental, like if you ask me like what's my best gift, it'd be her by far. In terms of like what we're sinking in now, how she's growing, how I'm growing, and then how we're growing together, who's doing what the roles are, how she runs. So like we're moving next week. That's her decision. Like I had no stress. I go, babe, it's your call. You run the household. That's not my lane. My lane is over here, and this is your lane. I'm here to support you, but I'm not the captain of that ship. But like that is 100 things, DJ, and you figured this out with your relationship too.
Oh man, yeah. Hey man, it's a constant thing that takes work. My wife and I have had our challenges and still do, on certain things. But I think it's just, realizing that, hey, this person's special and really, we all mess up, we all make mistakes, but kind of being able to not have that mistake go like a year, right? Or 2 years or 3. It's like, okay, I had a bad at bat. Hey, I made a mistake. Sorry, babe. I was an idiot. I shouldn't have done that. And I think just realizing, and that's hard to do, man. And so what you guys are doing, dude, I had no idea that you were doing that. I didn't even know that stood for the Miami Millionaire Mastermind, which we'll get into that so people can, reach out to you and come and join. But dude, that's a brilliant business. I think, man, that's something that is so needed, is something that can help people that are entrepreneurs, not just function as entrepreneurs and function together, but work together and be able to, have a better life, be able to have a better marriage. Man, I didn't even know you were doing that. So I'm glad that
we just, our first speaking event now is in Jamaica in September 22nd through the 29th. So we're going down there with, I think 160 people are going so far. But I just see people, like everyone talks about, like at the last Miami Millionaire Mastermind, everyone was talking about asset protection comes up, and I have my asset protection guy there. And he was saying to the group, the truth is, most asset protection issues don't really arise. The biggest place where people actually lose wealth is from divorce.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it ruins families, it ruins people's emotions. So, and then one of the biggest wins, you and I both share this, DJ, is on the relationship side. When you guys can do it together and you guys can do this together, like everything else, and you guys can make impact together, meaning not just financial wealth, but everything, all of it. When you guys can do that together, there's very few things in your relationship that come up because you're chasing bigger targets. So you don't have the time to go at each other because the game you're playing is about impact. So there's no time to fiddle. And like if we met, and we still have those, those spirited debates, right? But they don't last more than we don't yell, we don't scream, babe, I'm sorry. Here's what this meant to me. Here's what that came up. I didn't mean what you heard, and what you heard, I didn't like, it was more something in the communication. But baby, I'm on board with you. And I want you to know that I'm on board with you 100%. I've never been off board. It's just, it doesn't seem like I'm it because we're going in there in two different directions, but we're very similar and we're very synced up. Now she's very different than I am, but we're very on the same page with things, DJ. And it's just freeing, man. It's really liberating.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. What do you, Ramon, like from what you went, you've obviously been in every aspect of real estate, from, lending, which you do now, private lending, which we'll get into, to mortgages, to, freaking, probably everything. And right. So flipping, holding properties, but so what
building out a team, we built out a team, and to do the fix and flip, we were doing about 30, 40 properties a year. So we built out a team, property project managers, acquisitions people, all that stuff. It just wasn't for us, Yeah. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. What was your question though?
Oh no, man, no. Hey, this is just no script, no pre-planned questions, man, off the cuff and raw.
The dugout.
Yeah, in the dugout, man. We're in the dugout, right?
It.
Two guys, man, hanging out in the dugout. We need some tobacco and some sunflower seeds, man, and some bazooka gum. But so you said you work with a lot of people, and obviously built companies. For people that are watching this and say, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start my own business, or maybe I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm doing everything myself. And I really want to understand how I can basically build a business that's sustainable and long-term, and, something that I can leave a legacy for my kids. Maybe I can retire my mom or my dad or whatever, which was, kind of like my goal, to make it to the major leagues, to retire my mom, life pill a different path. And, thank God it worked out. But what do you see, like, what advice would you give entrepreneurs? We'll just keep it to one or two things that if you were to say, hey, you know what? As far as building a business and building something that's special that you can leave a legacy with, what are, and it may be something that is completely like off the cuff or something that people don't talk or think about, what are one or two things that you could encourage people to say, hey, if you're building a business, if you want to build a great business, if you do these 2 or maybe 3 things, your chances of doing that and having more joy while you're doing it, right, which is important, is going to be so much higher if you just implement these, 2 or 3 things. What would you say that a couple of those big things, are?
I would just say one thing, guys. I'm assuming most of you guys are, guys. I mean, guys and ladies and gentlemen.
We're in the dugout.
So, guys, here's the truth. The truth is, not everybody is meant to be a fucking entrepreneur. That is not for everybody. So the first thing I would do is find out what is your unique ability. What are you uniquely gifted at? Because there's guys, DJ, you and I know them, that are great tinkerers. They're great mechanics. And those guys, I want to bankroll so they can grow an operation. They like to be hands-on. Guys, you can make just as much money being a number 2 or number 3 and none of the downside, none of the stress, none of the headaches, and still crush it financially, guys. Not everyone is meant to be the entrepreneur. So if you are the entrepreneur, then there's a few tips on that. But the biggest thing is, I'd say about 50%, and this is not for me. I was just talking with Mark earlier, and he says that Gino Wickman, the owner, the one who wrote Traction, says that 50% of the people that are entrepreneurs really should be integrators. I think the first thing is figure out who you are and then double and triple down on that bad boy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's so funny that you said that because, with our academy and we have an academy and things like that. But one of the things I talk about is, hey, if you're not, everyone's, well, all I need is, like people that go to wholesale events or real estate events. Well, all I need is buyer's list. Or all I need is investors. Or if I had this, I can get properties, but if I have, all I need is investors. And it's like, no, stop, right? You need, first of all, the right mindset, right? And and that's the first thing. And then that's the first brick. And the second thing, which we're going to get into, and the second thing is, it's like, listen, if you're trying to do sales, right? If you're in real estate, it's sales. If you are not good at sales, if you don't understand and evolve and really understand, maybe it's not your wheelhouse, right? It is not everyone's wheelhouse. But if you recognize that and understand that and say, hey, maybe that's not my wheelhouse. I want to build a business, but I can be really good in this area. So let me do this part of the business. And I can outsource or delegate and find a rock star salesperson. So I'm big on, hey, find a Babe Ruth, find that Babe Ruth in every category of your business. And not only do the things that, it's not necessarily, I talked to Trevor Mock about this. It's not just doing the things that you're good at. It's doing the things that fulfill you, the things that give you energy, the things that, if you're really good at something and you hate doing it, like that's just a horrible way to live life, in my opinion. I think that it's that realizing what are you good at and what do you really love doing, what really motivates, and like just where I love doing this, right? So I get off this, man, and I could freaking run around the block here in Hollywood. This is what energizes me. And so Absolutely. I think, so talk about a little bit as you've had different businesses. How is that? How have you seen that? Like what kind of mistakes did you make early on that basically you learned from as far as building or scaling a business that you don't make anymore?
The biggest thing I do is I make sure that whatever business I'm looking at, the first thing is figure out what your unique abilities. I'll say that again because a lot of guys don't want to do that, and then they let the ego run the show. No, I got to be the Babe Ruth. Listen, Scottie Pippen still got 6 rings. You know what I mean? Let's just Mark McGuire still got some things too. Like you don't have to be the Canseco. You don't have to be the stud. You don't have to. So what I'm saying to you guys is play your position. Yeah. Figure out what your position is, what God put you here to do, what your unique ability, what your gift is here to give. Because guys, no one can do you like you can do you. Nobody. So if you can do that and then figure out what your wealth way is, it might not even be real estate. It might be whatever that is. But what I'm saying to you is once you figure out what that is, you'll start to attract people. So let me give you a story of someone who I attracted. Her name was Kelly. She started at my company making $30,000 a year. Eventually, she became a multimillionaire. Right now, she's somewhere in Costa Rica hanging out. So what I'm saying is she had none of the headaches, none of the brain damage, none of the sleepless nights, none of the hiring and firing people. She saw what I was doing, came in, learned, saved money, invested with us, kept growing. And she lives an epic life. And she has everything she wants with none of the downside. So what I'm saying to you is that if you can get into a team that can allow you to play your position and rock that, and you can get a piece of that company, I would much rather see you that with a lot lower risk if that's who you are. My biggest thing with this is not everybody's meant to be that entrepreneur. And guys, there's a lot of them, and DJ and I can really talk about it. We're in a dugout, and DJ is as vulnerable, if not more than I am. Dude, guys, there's a lot of emotional roller coasters that go with being in a dugout, a lot of mental health shit, a lot of anxiety, depression. Like the highs are high, the lows are lows, not being, there's a lot of shit that is not really being exposed out there. And I'm the one to talk about it because I'm dealing with it on the good side and the bad side. I own the whole thing. I own the entrepreneur space, but understand that I'm not an operator. So I need great operators, and guys, one isn't better than the other. It's what is your position?
Yeah.
And then stick to that. I mean, it's just really that simple. The thing is, our ego gets in the way, and we want to hit for home runs. Dude, if you're not a home run hitter, dude, get on base. If you get on base every single time and that's what you do.
Either that or shoot some steroids, right?
yeah. But even then, But even then, you'll never be you'll never be someone like a Bo Jackson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you don't, like, Canseco can never be a Bo Jackson, right? You don't have that natural swing, that natural athletics like that. And Bo worked for it too, but like, I guess what I'm saying is, dude, figure out what you do best at, and it may not be the entrepreneur, and it may be the entrepreneur. And if it is the entrepreneur, then within that, still figure out what you do best, and then hire people to kind of fill in the rest of those seats. But that's only going to come from you knowing what you do best, and then starting to attract from a personal development standpoint and a mindset standpoint of what is that best version of you, and then who do you need to bring into your life.
Hey, when you hire people, Ramon, what is something that you look for? Obviously, it's like, let's say you're hiring like what in your businesses, what is your strength that you focus on in your business? Do you handle like the sales side of things?
I do the mindset, the network, the strategy, and then I really, on the execution, I do my best to get out of the way. The detail, the execution, the day-to-day, I get out of the way of that. So normally I'm finding great operators that I can partner with or JV with or put up capital with, and then make sure that they're growing, and I trust them and have them grow, but I get out of the way of the day-to-day. They're very good at hiring people, managing systems, creating process, right? They're day-to-day on that.
And here's the thing, it's self-realization, right? Or whatever you want to call it. It's understanding, slowing down enough to understand, like, hey, you know what? I'm really bad at this, right? I hate, personally, I hate and will avoid at any cost doing anything with finances, right? Doing the books, doing the, stroking checks, any of that. That's why I have people that do that. Because I know that I'll put it off. I know I'm not good at it. It's like, God, this person's way better than me, so I'll just pay them to do it, And so like when you're looking to hire somebody, if it's an operator, if it's let me back up real quick. You said something that I don't want to forget. First of all, I met Scottie Pippen about 3 months ago. My wife and I were at this smoothie place here, and we walked in. I go, babe, that's Scottie Pippen. And he's like, who's Scottie Pippen? I'm like, really?
Come on.
Like, come on. Like, no one's around, right? I'm like, God. So, I went up and said hi, but so that's funny you mentioned that. But, you said something that I want to just touch on, and maybe you have an experience you can share too. I went through that where I was doing, in 2010, my mom unexpectedly passed. She retired April 1st. A lot of you know the story. Unexpectedly died, had a heart attack April 30th. So not even a month later. Was a really tough day. But I started diving into work harder. I started really and I was already grinding and working my, answering. But then it turned into, Like, and that probably had something to do with it. Sleepless nights. I wasn't delegating things. I was trying to do everything like way more than I should have myself. And a year later, I'm driving one of my cars down the road and I black out. And basically, I thought I had a heart attack. And long story short, it ended up being panic attacks. And so I had to get on medication and overcome that and, and things like that. So like what you're saying, that entrepreneur, people, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a millionaire. I want to do whatever. It's like, hey, man, you got to realize like there's going to be a price to that. And I think, and I think not only that, but realizing, man, you know what? I don't have to do everything myself. I think people that I see that in any business that try to do everything themselves, even when they're not good at it. This is why so many people, Ramon, are struggling to wholesale. So many people are struggling to flip because they're trying to do things that they suck at and they're not good at. And instead of finding a Babe Ruth or bringing someone in like you do to partner with and say, hey, man, I suck at estimating the value of properties. Can you do this for me? Hey, man, I suck at, I'm great at sales, but I'm horrible at this side. Can you help with that? So as you built your businesses and went through the ups and downs, let's ask this, whatever you're comfortable sharing, what are some downs that you hit that basically as striving for that the entrepreneurship and the almighty dollar and things that we all go through, right, as men and we have our vision here. But what were some things that some challenges that you incurred through that you were able to overcome, and how did you overcome them?
I think that I went through it too. So I think that the biggest thing here that you hear DJ and I talk about is mindset. And everyone, mindset. Mindset's the only thing that's going to free you guys. Because what happens is I went through that in 2007. Market turned on me. I was doing a lot of my own. I had some help, but I didn't really have a system in place because I didn't feel I could attract that kind of person at a higher level. So I had call them goons. I had some goons in place. I had some bat boys because they weren't really help. They were just kind of like my minions, right? And it blew up on me. I was working 16-hour days. I was making some money, but then, as the market corrected down here, I was making less and less and working harder and harder. And I said, all of a sudden, dude, what's the point of this? So I just shut it all down, retired for 2 years, but really I was in depression for those 2 years. I wasn't growing. I just got burnt out, guys. So on the entrepreneur side, there is burnout, guys. And most guys that build out a real business do go through that. That's why they learn to then who to hire, how to hire the right people. But it all comes from that mindset and kind of going through that. And I think a lot of guys in this space aren't really committed to building a business. They're committed to doing some deals and maybe having a little bit of help. Well, committing to do a few deals and have some help is one thing. Committing to build a real estate business where you actually care about the employees and their family and you're committed to their growth and you're committed to building an organization. So two very, very different things, guys. And the commitment to build an organization is pretty much a lifelong, like what you're doing is you're saying, hey, I'm going to have a baby. I'm going to have twins. I mean, that's really what you're saying. That's that level of commitment where you're taking it on. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs don't treat it that way. So for us, bringing an employee on or a team member on was a big deal in terms of systems, processes, and not just systems like I was going to get them from like Fortune Builders or your training site. No, we're going to build this out for them so that if they fail, they didn't work the system. They failed the system, right? It wasn't that we failed them. And that's the level of accountability and responsibility and financial. Guys, when you bring 5-10 people on staff and payroll and bookkeeping and all that, dude, you're not playing around. These are people's lives. Like I think a lot of entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs like, oh, I'm gonna hire this person virtual. Yeah, we had some virtual help, but local people that share your core values, that are in a team, that are in an office, that you could really sync up, that there's really synergy there, that there's core value alignment, and then you're helping them grow and you're helping them hit their goals. Guys, in terms of fulfillment, outside of my wife and daughter, fulfilling in terms of impact and fulfilling, that's right up there,
Yeah. Oh man, no, so true, man. And you hit on something, buddy. being committed and being interested. There's people, it's so funny, we'll talk to people, be it a mastermind, you and I both invest a lot into ourselves and to go into masterminds and things, and constantly growing and constantly learning. And there's people, it's like, well, I'm making $2,000. Okay, how much you making now? I'm making $2,000 a month, but I want to make $100,000 a month. Okay, that's a $98,000 difference, right? And so, and they're, well, I've been thinking about it for 5 years or 3 years and this and that. It's like, you don't want that, right? And just being honest with yourself and saying, hey man, if I don't care what you're doing, if it's real estate, whatever, if you're just interested, you'll never win. Why do you guys think that McDonald's, the average McDonald's now is what, $2 million? I think on average. Because if you put $2 million on the line, you're freaking committed, right? You're going to lose your house. You're going to, if you either make it work or you freaking not, you don't die, but you basically you're putting it all on the line, right? You're going all chips in. And I sometimes think about that, gosh, I want to try to help everyone, but I think people, in order to help them, they have to be real and honest with themselves and say, you know what, I really don't want that. That's what the Instagram says I should have. That's what all my buddies do, is I see them riding the Ferraris and the cars. But is that really what you want, right? Because you have to be raw and honest with yourself and say, hey, this is what I want, and this is why I want it. And I don't care what it takes. And I don't care if it takes 1 month or 2 months or a year or freaking 5 years. I'm going to get this and I'm going to have it, and I'm 100% in committed, and I'm not quitting unless I die, And I think, if more people took that approach, you would not see people failing in as much, I should say, in business. Just man, if you're committed and taking massive action, you're around good people, the odds that you're going to win are so much higher, you guys. But if you're just interested and you want to dabble in something, I mean, I'm just being honest, man. Your odds of winning and being successful in anything are super low. And I mean, you've probably seen that in, with people too, with on your side.
Yeah, what you're looking for is a copy-paste model. Guys, the truth is, there is no copy-paste model. It's bullshit. Yeah. Guys, you're not here. Guys, God did not, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, Buddha, whatever you come up with, did not put you on here as copiers or to compare us or as regurgitators. He put you here as creators. What do you want to create? What is your inner being, your source? What does that want to create? And what is your divine truth? What is your truth? And then live that. Not everybody wants to have 10,000 apartment buildings. Or, guys, what is you? Guys, I could care less about the Lambo. I could care, and I could have one. I'd like the option to have one, but I don't need that to make my and there's no right or wrong. It's what's right for you. We're so busy on Facebook and Instagram, and I've been guilty of it as well, and still at times of listening to the outside world that we forget what we want internally. And sometimes we think that what's out there is, and we make it what we want in here. And guys, we're living a lie. We're living out of integrity. What is it you want for you? What are your standards? Not what they're doing. Forget what they're doing. Forget, oh, this guy's sending out 20,000 letters. Oh, this guy's doing cold calls. Dude, what is right for you? It's not what works for them. Oh, what are their numbers? Who gives a shit? What are your numbers? You guys.
Yep. Oh, dude. So good, man. So good. So, man, that's so good. That's so good. I mean, we could, I could go off and deep dive on that. So,
you know what I heard recently, Dia, you'll like this. The truth resonates at the highest vibrancy. Truth. Because there's no, guys, we all know this intrinsically. I'm not saying anything you don't know. I'm just reminding you of your own divine truth. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm just reminding you what you already know that I'm doing. And guys, I've been guilty of it too. So as much as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me, guys. Because I've been there. And then you start saying, hey, so DJ, I love what you said about, hey, are they committed or are they interested? Guys, I watch people's actions. People's actions are the truest reflection of their priorities. They may say, hey, I want to spend time with my family, but you're out at the bar hanging out with with your friends. That's not, you want to be living in alignment to what you are, not what Facebook says, not what this says. Guys, what's you? And then live in alignment with that as best as you can. And that's hard enough, guys. With all the noise and all the distraction, all the bullshit out there, guys, live in alignment with that. And then live in alignment with that as best as you can. And that's hard enough, guys. With all the noise and all the distraction, all the bullshit out there, dude. There's tough guys. Jay. DJ and I play sports. Dude, there's guys that when I'm playing a sport with them recently, like, I was playing basketball, and one of the guys, we were both going hard for a ball, and he got injured, and I was like, dude, it's part of the fucking game. Like, I was upset that I didn't want him to get injured, but dude, I'm stronger, I'm faster, and you hit me, and like, dude, you got injured. Like, dude, like, it's guys, own the manhood, own all of it. That's you, and just do that.
You didn't do what's his name for Green? What's his name? Where you kicked him in the nuts?
No, I didn't do that. No. I don't play dirty, but I play hard. And if you play hard and I'm in better shape, dude, it's gonna hurt you. But that's kind of my standard. I'm not trying to copy anybody else. I'm not trying to look like anybody else. I'm looking to do the best me. And like that fitness goal for me, or whatever that goal is, or whatever that standard, guys, make sure you're living life to your standards in those areas. Like, I have a certain standard for a dad. It's not DJ's standard. It's not somebody. It's my standard. I have a certain standard for my fitness. But make sure that you're choosing that, and that you're living life on your terms. And a lot of times we don't question it. We say, Andy Frisella has a jet. I now want a private jet. I don't know. I like flying private. It's a nice experience. I don't know that I want to necessarily own a jet.
And even if you did, it wouldn't be, anything wrong. It's just, hey, that's your personal preference. Hey, if I want a jet, hey, sounds great. It gets me there faster. Awesome. I'm going to enjoy it. And I think so, Jesse, what did Jesse say here? Jesse said, go hard or go home. Absolutely.
It.
Jesse's my boy, man. So, and so, you've been obviously scaled multiple businesses. Let's talk about something we don't normally talk about, man. And since we're in the dugout here, and family, right?
Sure.
And you said something that's so spot on, man. And listen, those of you guys, I'm going to be really open with you and raw. Just like you said, Ramon, man, like at the end of the day, sometimes you might feel, oh man, I need to, like, I've had such a strenuous week. I need to just go down the street, have a drink, right? But if you know that that's not healthy for your marriage, is that the smartest thing? Guys, I've been guilty of this, right? I'm telling you, because I've been guilty of it.
Of course.
So,
guys, everything DJ and I are sharing is because we've lived it. It's not like that. It's not that we're that smart. It's that we've banged our head against the wall and we're trying to help save you. But sometimes, DJ, the hardest thing for me, I don't know about you, and as you're coaching people and other people, is that sometimes they don't want to learn from our mistakes. Sometimes they want to do them.
Yeah.
And we have to allow them to.
Man, there's people, it's like, get your cash buyers, then go get properties. Don't work with these people, work with these people. And you see them doing everything the opposite way. And it's like, dude, like, I've done 3,000 deals, right? Like almost 3,000 deals now. Like, I'm telling you, with the way we do deals, if you do it this way, you're going to win over and over and over again. And just unwinding that. And yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes, man, we gotta touch the burner. So with your situation, having businesses, when you needed people to, when you need to hire people, Ramon, and scale, what do you look for? Some people might be watching this saying, hey, I need to hire a virtual assistant. I need to do this. I need to do that. What is your recommendation when you're hiring people? What do you look for? Like, I know what I usually look for: someone that's happy. First of all, they have really good, happy, natural energy. And not that they're perfect, but they're just a happy soul. That to me personally is really important. To some people that may not be important. I personally look for, obviously, someone that's skilled and good at their job, but someone that's really a good, happy, thankful, appreciative soul. I can help them work on the other things. What do you look for when you're bringing someone on to, I guess, delegate or assign or assign a task to, or hire somebody?
Sure. The biggest thing, we just hired a personal assistant, so this is her second day here. The biggest thing I look for, guys, in general, in any position, is I'm looking for core value alignment. Again, I'm looking at their alignment with my soul. I'm looking at their unique ability, that we have an alignment, not a unique ability, but an alignment of core values. So when you said they're happy, happy is a core value to you. Being grateful is a core value to you. Being spiritual, always wanting to grow and learn, that's a core value to you.
Yeah.
Now, sure, they have to have skill sets in certain areas. They got to be detail oriented, and whatever I needed, whatever I suck at, they got to be good at skill wise. But we're not even getting to that hurdle. The first hurdle is always core value alignment. What does this guy say? Gino Wickman, traction. GWC, get it, want it, and do they have the capacity to do with it? So do they? If they pass the core value hurdle, do we have core value alignment? If we do, what other core values are they living in? What are their core values? We're good. All right, cool. Let's rock. Next hurdle. Do they get it? Do they get the position? Do they want it? Do they want to do the role? And then do they have the capacity? Because the capacity is the one I'll be a little bit flexible on, because if they don't have the capacity, well, can I train them there? Well, does the organization have time to slow down the ship to train them up on capacity? Because capacity you might have to train on, right, to get them there. And I'm usually willing to train capacity if they have the first two and they're really strong. But sometimes the organization can't wait for capacity because you're sitting on 15 rehabs. You need someone with the capacity right now, right? So it's not that they were trying to cheat. Just look, their way to get up was by beating somebody else up, right? Yeah. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's not for me.
Yeah. Yep. I tell people too, man, it's like you could buy the best house. It's all who you deal with, right? You could buy the best house and get the best deal in the best area and smoke and deal with the wrong person and lose your complete ass. Or you could literally deal with the right people that knew how to make money in the lowest income, boarded up neighborhoods. We don't deal with this, but boarded up areas, worst neighborhoods in the country you wouldn't even want to go to, but they know how to make money there, and you can trust them and you can kill it by working with them. So it all comes down to, it's never really area, you said it, Ramon, it's all relationship driven. You do
all the person. I do deals in shit areas. I mean, I fund guys deals in shit. I mean, we would not go there. And I hate the product. And I hate the Section 8 low end, right? They're buying on the East Cleveland. They're buying in like the hood.
Shooting gallery.
Right, shooting gallery. But that's all they do. They love that model. They have scale 400 or 500 and have a real business. Well, shit. Now, guys, it's not about the deal. It's about who the person is, because I'm relying on someone else to execute. So when you hire a contractor, when you hire somebody else, you're asking that person to execute on something you're not good at. And if they don't have core value alignment, forget about it. Now, do they have to get it and want it and have the capacity? Because sometimes they have core value alignment, but dude, they just can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. So they can have all the motivation and share all your core values, be loyal, and want to grow. But if they can't think on their feet, if they're not, right, if they're coming back to you on everything, that's a problem as well. And then one more thing that would really, lately I've been asking myself, because DJ, you and I take responsibility for everything. Right? The hardest thing for us as humans, I think, is to really take 100% responsibility and ownership for everything in our lives. Because everything that happens to me is something in me that I'm creating, and then I'm attracting that into my life. So when you hire a shit contractor or you hire that employee, it's something in you that attracted that person, then hire that person, DJ. So and as long as that's still in you and you're not working on yourself to get rid of those things, you'll never attract that other person. Guys, there's people out there that want to help you and serve you and grow your business, and they'll do all the work, and they'll believe in your mission and your vision because you're so clear on it, and they want some of that, guys. The world is inspired by you living your divine truth because they want that. But no one's doing that, and no one's offering that. No one's going after these employees or team members, whatever the hell you want to call them. I call them family. No one's going after their heart. And if you don't get the heart, it doesn't matter. If you don't get their heart and they're not all in with you, like this girl, Kelly, she's family. Like yesterday I texted her, hey, Kelly, I'm so grateful for you. She's in Nicaragua or whatever, Costa Rica surfing. Hey, I'm so grateful for you. I still appreciate you. She's the unofficial aunt of my daughter. So what I'm saying, guys, is what you really want is to hire someone's heart and find out if they share your core values. You're not going to make them have your core values. You just want to see people that are share your core values and are running the same race in the same direction. And now you put them on your team. Look, we're both, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Hey, we're going to both win. We're both going to win a championship either way. But if we do it together, right, and then they're already aligned, and then now you have a team. Guys, you want people's hearts, and you want to make sure that they share your core values. You're not trying to influence on their core values or see something in someone that's not really there. You're looking to see if they share your core values, and then win their hearts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, man. Preach it, baby. Hey, what about
It's not complicated.
let's talk on let's touch on because you and I both really believe in mentorship, right? And investing in ourselves and and constantly growing and constantly learning. So from that standpoint, what would you say? You have for example, your was it Millionaire Mastermind? So these people that come, whatever they pay, right? 5,000, 10,000, 30,000, whatever. The money is really not even an issue. When you started investing in yourself and investing in being around people, be it like people like Mark Evans or, various other people, business leaders, business owners, people that could help pull you to high level. Because when you're, I'm a giver. A lot of you that are watching this are probably a giver by nature, but a lot of times our strength can also be our Achilles heel. It usually is our Achilles heel. So if you're a giver and you're constantly giving and constantly trying to help other people, but you don't have someone that's pulling you to a high level. And as you're blowing air into other people, if you don't have someone blowing air into you and building you up and encouraging you and helping you go to a high level, you're going to burn out. I'm telling you. And so, that is why people like Ramon and I, and a lot of entrepreneurs and friends constantly invest and go to events and invest in mentorship and guidance and higher education is to literally constantly be learning and growing. So what advice would you give for people? What has mentorship, obviously now you are the mentor. So, but how has that changed your life as far as, first, I guess, being the one that wanted to constantly, have someone breathe life into you, which you still do, but now taking it to the new level and actually being that guy that can take what you've learned and what you've went through and experienced and help be that air and that oxygen for other people.
I'm going to speak to a group of private lenders next Tuesday to help them, scale out their private lending business, kind of what we've done, how we look at things. And the biggest thing, guys, is I'm always playing the card like I don't have everything figured out. Like, what don't I know? What am I missing? How can I make this better? Always. I have tons. Today I was talking to Mark about something that, a mental thing that came up on some tax issue. I'm talking to, my IRA coach tomorrow. I have a personal trainer on Friday, guys. So it's not just about investing in yourself in Mastermind, it's investing in yourself in general. And the biggest investment you can make in yourself outside of the external world. Now, the external world is a great investment in terms of like the environment, the masterminds, and having people pull you up. I think the single biggest investment you can make is really like taking that miracle morning time, like having daily rituals where you like love yourself, guys, like learning. We're all so hard on each other and we don't approve ourselves and we reject ourselves and we like beat ourselves up. I think that learning to love ourselves, I think that forgiving is important. I think that winning that internal game in here, guys, is the whole game. And then people can help you push it to the higher level, but you become a lot lighter when you handle your own internal stuff. And some of that stuff I've got coaches for. I've got spiritual coaches. I've got mindset coaches. Guys, the mindset is the biggest piece. The biggest limiting factor in a business is the psychology of the owner. 100%. 100. Do you agree 100%?
Yeah, totally. Yep, yeah. 100%. Like it's in entrepreneurship, it's in business, it's in sports, it's in baseball. I mean, the best athletes, the guys that I played with that had the longest careers, they weren't the most talented. Talent isn't what wins. I mean, yes, if you have talent and you have the mindset, those are the people that are in the Hall of Fame and all-stars every year. But the ones that win are the ones that have the ability to control this, right? This human mechanism, their emotions, their thoughts, their reactions, their energy. When you can control this human mechanism and start really understanding and, hey, when you make a mistake, okay, let me maybe your mistake used to last a week or a year, or maybe you've had something going on for so long, you're in a spiral and you don't know how to get out of it. But when you can say, okay, I had a bad at bat, I had a bad day, this didn't go right or that didn't go right, let me fix that. right? Let me see how I can fix it. What is happening in here? Because you guys, it all is coming from here and here. It's all
coming from the inside. It's inside out, not outside in.
Yeah.
Because you're perceiving the outside and then you're attracting the outside by your thoughts. Guys, your thoughts are the creators, and then you start to attract everything else through your feelings and emotions and everything else, guys. DJ said he meditates in the morning. I'm a big fan of meditation, any kind of meditation. Reading something positive, mindset, learning to love yourself, learning to accept yourself, like accept yourself as you are. Learning to approve yourself, guys. A lot of times we make things wrong in ourselves. Like, dude, I don't need no one to approve me, and I don't need DJ to value me. I love DJ, but I don't need him to value me because I have value automatically. Guys, you were born abundant here. Like, there's no mistake. You don't have to prove your worth. By the fact that you're here alone is worthy enough. But we live in this illusion, and we get caught up in it at times, including myself, that you have to prove yourself or you have to chase something. And the truth is, you don't have to chase anything, guys. It's through your thoughts that you create. And having the daily disciplines and the rituals and the accountability, guys, that's where the game is winning. And then if you add on a mastermind to take it to a whole other level, that's next level stuff. But if you don't have the fundamentals down.
What do you guys, hey, Ramon, what do you guys talk like at a mastermind in just a few minutes so I can wrap up and give people your info? What are the things that, you already touched on it, but what are the things that you see people, you work with a lot of high level business owners, executives, people at really high levels. What are the things that you constantly see? It always comes back to this, be it, mindset, be it their thoughts, be it holding thoughts as truth when they're not true. Because we have so much stuff coming at us now, right? Instagram and Facebook and messages and this and that and emails and direct messages and Slack messages. How do you sift through that and simplify it? And actually, because I'm a big advocate of, hey, if you can control your day, or at least somewhat, like at least have the freaking intent to control your day, or start your morning right, or control your morning, that leads into instead of responding and reacting to everything, hey, if I can control my day, or at least somewhat, at least go into it with some control. Do you see that with people that are just in general, business owners or not? But do you see that hey, people that have success have some type of miracle morning, some type of setting where they go into their day really with the intent to control it?
I agree 100%. And really the intent is figure out what you want based on your unique ability, figure out what you're uniquely gifted to do, and then figure out what the standard is, right? There's guys that have a standard. Hey, I got to make 100 grand a month. Hey, I got to make 50 grand a month. I got to make 10 grand, whatever that standard is. Like in baseball, there's guys that have a certain standard of how they have to play, but make sure it's your standard and that you're willing to commit to it and that you're willing to put in the work that it takes to do that, right? If you're willing to commit to be an elite athlete, well then the recovery, the nutrition, the not partying, the sleeping. Are you committed to the cryotherapy? Are you committed to all of it? Or do you just want to look good when you take off your shirt? You got to be committed to the whole process, right? So if you're committed to the whole process, then okay, cool. Are you committed to the daily disciplines and being consistent, guys? Consistency is key. Being consistent with the daily disciplines, because consistency over time, 100% will get you what you want. But consistent with the daily disciplines, it'll guarantee success.
Yeah, totally agree, man. So, hey, with people that, if they were saying, hey, Ramon, I saw you in here, man. I love your spirit. I love what you're about. What is, share it to people. So you're actually a private lender, private money lender.
Yep.
It's relationship based, obviously, like you and I know. But you lend in various parts of the country. You're located in Miami, Florida area, but you do lending in, like Pennsylvania, Ohio, various markets. So if people see, as people see this, there's going to be a lot of people that hear the podcast. Going to be thousands of people over time that see this, be it on Facebook or the podcast or whatever. How can people reach? How would you want me to put on the screen here on how people can reach out to you if they're saying, hey, Ramon, I'd love to talk to you about a project I got here or something, see if it's a good fit. How can people get in touch with you if they want to? Also, you guys, if you've never thought or been to a mastermind or been involved in a mastermind, this guy puts on the top of the top masterminds where, I mean, you go here and your life is transformed. In fact, I'm interested in coming to your next one. Send me the info on it.
I'd love to have you.
Yeah, I couldn't
and it's not about me, DJ. It's about who's in the room. I make sure the guys in the room share the core values, and they're all different. A guy might have a great apartment space. A guy might have great mobile home park. Like whatever the space is, it doesn't matter to me. I want the right guys in the room. And the question I'm always asking is, how do we do more together?
Yeah.
And how do we do more together, and how do we learn from each other? Because that apartment guy might have an idea for a single family fix and flip guy. It's all business. It's all relationship, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
hey,
yeah.
so what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? What is it? Tell me. I'll put it on the screen here.
You can. I'll send DJ my Facebook links. You can tag me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. I do weekly Facebook lives or bi-weekly. It's really when I get inspired, I do them. I used to commit to them weekly, but really, it's when I have something to say that's at a high level. So Facebook is a great way to connect with me. You can go to Miami Millionaire Mastermind. I'm also on Instagram at the official Ramon Gonzalez or official Ray Gonzalez. You can send me on official Ray Gonzalez on Instagram and connect with me. I'd love to serve you. You can hop on our email.
Is this a good way I just put on there?
Miami Millionaire, mastermind.com. Yeah, that should be good.
Mastermind. So those of you, let me hide our name. So those of you that want to get in touch with Ramon here to see, even just to connect with, maybe you're watching this, you're like, man, I just like this guy's just cool as shit, and I just want to be buddies with him, right, or whatever.
Perfect, dude.
Yeah. So, maybe you want to, maybe it is business related. Maybe you're just interested in being connected with another person that can speak life into you, or that you can have, to mentor you or guide you or whatever. So those of you listening to the podcast, go to www.miamimillionairemastermind.com.
And then you can subscribe. You can subscribe to our email list there to put you right in the email list, and you can set up time with me. There isn't an event coming up, but when it comes up, you'll be alerted. And I'd love to just connect with you. I have a free 30 minutes with anyone in your audience who wants to connect. We can set up. You can schedule time with me, and I just love to connect and add value and serve any way I can. It's really, again, I'm playing the impact game at this point in my life. That's the only game I'm interested in playing.
Yeah, man. And that's the game to play, man. That's where, when you do things to serve people, hey, maybe it comes back from them. Usually it doesn't. It's just sowing, right? Sowing good seeds. And then something good happens over here. And it's like, oh, that was cool. And that came because you were doing this over here, helping these people. And then this person was there. Hey, by the way, buddy, I'm going to put you on the spot, man. Would you mind? Sure. I'll buy it from you if I need to. Would you mind sending me one of those hats?
I'll send it to you. I just got to get some more. I just sent out the last couple ones for free. So I'll order 20 more and I'll send you one. Just send me your address and I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Right on, man.
Yeah, dude, they're good hats. They're fitted in the back, baseball style, dude.
Yeah.
I've had 4 or 5 people ask me, where'd you get it? How'd you get it made? I go, secret sauce. I can't give it to you.
I love it, man. I got a little peanut head, man. So I'm like a man at 6 7/8 or something. I don't know.
I think it's a standard size. It's like a flex fit. It's kind of like one of those baseball ones you used to wear. So
it's like a small medium or a medium large.
Yeah. It's got the so it adjusts to your, like this is the only hat I wear, and because I like wearing hats and it's just comfortable. So
yeah, man. Yeah, I need one of those, man.
So send me your address.
Hey, so those of you on here, again, listen to the podcast, whatever, reach out, go to millionairemastermind.com. If you want to connect, MiamiMillionaireMastermind.com and connect with Ramon, reach out. You can reach out to him on Facebook, connect with him there. And if you're looking at anything, right? Hopefully you've inspired this. I want to encourage you to please share this. If you're listening to this, if it's on our podcast, on iTunes, or if it's live here on Facebook, if you've been touched by this, if there's some information that can help somebody else, this is why we do this. I don't make money from this. We don't get paid. This is all about just sharing information, helping people, loving on people, and giving you something that can make your life and your, relationships and maybe marriage better. So with that said, we love you guys. Thanks for being on the show, buddy. I really appreciate it, man. And
thank you, man. Thank you for the opportunity, man. Hopefully we served a lot of value. the more I find that I can speak truths to people, even though they don't like it, I think eventually they come back to like, you know what? He's not saying anything I don't know. He's just telling me things that I don't want to hear, but are true. Like it resonates with the soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything else is bullshit.
Yeah.
Everything else is bullshit. This guy has this. Who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's important to you and you want it for your reasons, and then that person has inspired something in you that was always dormant within you. That's a different story. But for the most part, I see guys trying to copy and compare. Dude, comparison is a scarcity game, dude. And I've done it. Like I've been there. It's like, dude, no one wins.
Yeah. Yep. And these days, man, with Instagram and everyone's, if you're comparing yourself to all the noise out there, you'll never be good enough. There's always someone better looking. There's always someone that's got more money. There's always someone that drives a cooler car, that has a hotter chick, that has a hotter dude, right? Like you can never, ever win it. It used to be, Ramon, it used to be like keeping up with the Joneses next door, right? Now it's like, it's not just next door, right? It's like, it's easy to beat, 5 people, right? Now you're competing. Now there's people out there that are competing with millions and millions of people on social media. So you may not ever feel, if you're doing that, you're never going to feel good enough. You're never going to believe in yourself because there's always going to be someone that's cuter, better looking, has more money.
Yeah. And the weird thing, DJ, is the biggest fear we have, the biggest like emotional wound that we have, the mindset wound, is the fear that we're not good enough. And that if we're not good enough, we won't be loved. And dude, so all that just plays into that. So like from a spiritual and emotional side, you're beating yourself every day because you're not good enough, and then you self-sabotage because if you're not good enough, you got to find something to and it happens subconscious. So I'm learning through this every day. So I'm going through this. I'm learning. I'm reading. So I'm dealing with this as well. And yet, it's the best thing I can tell guys to do is that plays into that big fear, and then we just sabotage. Yeah, we feel bad. And even when you get the toys, DJ, you get the toys, and you're like, dude, I'm not even happy with this. You know what I mean? Because it's always the next one. It's a bullshit game. Yeah, it is, man. It really, really is. But no, thanks for being on the show, buddy. Those of you watching this, share it. Spread the word, and make sure that you tune in and subscribe to DJ's Dugout. You can do it on Facebook or on iTunes or any of that, and listen to our podcast. Subscribe to it. We really appreciate that. And thanks again for being on here, buddy. Much love, man, and I'll catch you soon. Awesome. Thank you, DJ. All right, buddy.